This special edition of the Tornado Football Coaches Show. I am Mike Dudas from Ktor the Tornado, and I have the pleasure of having a lot of people in the studio this morning, including head coach Anders. Good morning, Coach Anders.
Good morning.
And you brought a lot of guests with you, so let's get started.
Yeah, I brought a lot of guests with me today. We had an opportunity to finish our second ball game of the season, and each week we like to acknowledge certain players that kind of stood out in our mind that received an award. Doc came up with these ideas with some football. That way we can recognize the good the kids do on and off the field. One of the awards we call it the Head Hunter, which is the Special Teams Award. Another award we have is the Hammer, which is for the defense. We also have one that acknowledges our junior varsity players that does well in practice. They don't get an opportunity to play in the game, but they give us a good look in practice and really practice hard to get us prepared for the game. And that's probably one of the most important awards I believe that we can have. Also, we have a Playmaker Award. That's kind of an offense/special teams award. Anybody that makes plays, we acknowledge them with that award. And then we have the Wood. The Wood is one of those awards we give to the O-line. You know, they bring in the wood. So that's one of the things that we want to continue to do and grow. And at the end of the day, it is a way of motivating the team and being able to acknowledge the things they've done well. Whether you win, lose, or draw, you want to be able to acknowledge the kids because they're out there working their butt off. And, like I tell them every day, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, and it's a tough game. We obviously came short last week, and I think this, we just move on. After it's over, it's over. Prepare for the next game. We have 2 weeks to prepare for Tech City, and we start our 7-game run, 7-game season.
Well, we played an awesome, I think we played an awesome game. I mean, at least the first half. We played them really tough. Everything kicked in, unfortunately, on the other side in the second half, but we were playing a really good team.
Yeah, a very good
They were
team.
6A, right?
6A.
And it's a private school, so with the things that go on behind the scenes. So we were playing one of the best, and we played them tough.
That's true. We should play against a very good, like I said, very physical, smart football team, and they didn't make a lot of mistakes. We made some mistakes, and the good thing about it, we can correct them. At the end of the day, it's a lot of things that we can do. Go back and correct the mistakes and get better. And that's at the end of the day, that's what we want to do.
And we playing, which I know you noticed, in front of a packed house. Their hometown, their side was packed.
Oh, absolutely.
Full of people, and in the middle of a community was still recovering. That whole area. I remember asking, did that school, because that whole side of town had water, or parts of it, and they said, no, not our school, but a lot of our students that go to school, lived in houses. They're displaced too. So a lot of dynamics going on with that game. But we played them tough. So like you said, it's a learning experience, and that's why we play preseason games, right? To get the kinks out of the chain and whatever, and straighten things out, and look forward to the start of district play. Right?
Exactly.
All right. So let's go down the line and start introducing our guests here.
I would like you guys step up. You can say your name, position.
Roderick Hockley. I play quarterback.
Okay, and let me ask you a couple follow-up questions. What grade are you in?
12th grade.
12th grade, so you're a senior, right? So what are your plans once you graduate?
Go to college and become an architect.
Oh, okay. And what community are you in?
Innovation entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay, the I&E community, okay. And what is your favorite class?
Probably physics.
Physics, okay. And what's your most challenging class that you got to really work hard to succeed in?
Physics.
Physics, okay. I knew that was probably going to be your answer. Your football experience, have you played all through your years here at Ball High?
Yes, sir. I spent 1 year at O'Connell.
All right, and if you could say, name one word that describes Coach Anders, what would it be? Not to put you on the spot, but what would it be?
Fun.
Fun, okay, that's a good answer. And he wins which award? Which award did you give him this week? Acknowledgement?
What you got, the Head Hunter?
Yes, sir.
The Head Hunter, okay.
Special team.
All right, so what's your field take so far on the start of the season? Because, we had the interruption and everything, so how do you feel about things right now?
It's going to be an interesting season full of wins.
And y'all are working hard, getting ready for start of district at Texas City, right?
Yes, Yes, sir.
Always tough with Texas City, and then we play at their house, right? Texas City, so got a lot of time to prepare for it and everything. All right, well, congratulations on your acknowledgement this week.
Thank you.
All right, so next, going down the line, we have,
Clarence Dalton.
okay, Clarence, and Coach Andrews, what is his award this time?
Clarence Dalton is a running back. He's our playmaker. He, if I can recall, the first game. This is from the first game, and then we got the second game. But we had to acknowledge the first game.
Right.
The playmaker award. He, I think, rushed for 120-something plus yards that game. And how many touchdowns? You had a touchdown?
I had 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion.
Oh, wow, congratulations on that. Okay, so Clarence, I can see by your ID badge you're in the STEM community, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is your favorite class in the STEM community?
Engineering.
Engineering, okay. Are you a senior?
Oh,
Junior?
Sophomore.
Oh, sophomore. Oh, see, I take it these big guys that think they're older. Okay, so sophomore. Okay, so this is starting your second year here, and your favorite class is already engineering. Well, congratulations on that. What is your most challenging class that you really have to work hard on?
History.
History. Okay, so you work hard on that. And what's one word that describes your coach?
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay, so he's fun and interesting. Okay, all right, that's good. All right, well, congratulations on your acknowledgement for this week, and continue to work hard, and I know great things will come your way.
Thank
All right, so now we have stepping up to the Ktor microphones is
Donovan Walker,
Don-
wide receiver,
Donovan Walker, wide receiver. And what grade are you in, Donovan?
11th grade.
11th grade. So it looks like you're holding a football. It says playmaker. Is that yours?
Yes.
Okay, so Coach, what is the playmaker award?
Well, he actually played receiver, and he's a playmaker this week. He caught 4 passes for like 58 or 60 something yards, and he's a dynamic player. He has the opportunity to be really special. Like you said, he's a junior, and he's doing well, and he's learning the game, each and every day, and he's just getting better. So we look forward to some big things from him.
Okay, Donovan, which community are you in?
I'm in STEM.
The STEM community, okay. All these smart guys in here. What is your favorite class in the STEM community?
I had to say Mr. Langevon's class.
So, and that's what does he teach?
Engineering.
Engineering, okay. And what is your most challenging class?
Probably physics.
Physics, okay. So which is kind of a mixture of science and math, right? And it was established you're a senior, is that correct?
I'm a junior.
Junior, okay, junior. So, says you've played football all along, right, since the very beginning, freshman?
Yes.
And tell us one word that describes Coach Andrews.
Well coached.
Well coached?
Yeah. I mean, not really. Well organized.
Well organized, okay, organized. So he's fun, interesting, and organized, okay? Great, okay. Well, congratulations, Donovan, and much continued success this season. All right, so next we have, stepping up to the microphone is...
Dimitri Villarreal, left tackle.
Okay, Dimitri, and what grade are you in?
12th grade.
12th grade, senior. And Coach, what is his acknowledgement this week?
He had the wood from the week before.
Okay, the wood from the week before.
Yeah.
Okay, and he earned the wood because...
He was bringing the wood on the offensive line. He's the guy to get all the pancakes and knock people over, so
Okay.
allow us the yards on the field. The offensive line is by far one of the most important positions on the field.
Great. And Dimitri, you're a senior, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And which committee are you in?
INE.
INE, I knew that, but I wanted you to say it. So, what is your favorite class? Your
Probably Miss Legate stats, AP stats.
Okay, yeah, a lot of people like. AP Stats has a reputation of being one of the hardest AP classes, but I'm always surprised when students say it here as AP Stats, but I think it's because of Miss Legate, right? She's a cool teacher, makes it interesting.
Yeah, she's a great teacher.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's a sign of a good teacher that makes a hard class interesting and fun and that type of thing. So what is your most challenging class?
Probably Mr. Larkin for U.S. history.
Okay, so probably a lot of reading and homework and that type of thing.
Yes.
Is that dual credit class?
Dual credit, yes.
Okay, well, keep doing well in there so you'll get that college credit to high school and college credit, right? So
Yes, sir.
you don't have to take that in college. All right, so what's one word to describe your coach?
Tenacious.
Tenacious. Okay, and why is he tenacious?
I mean, Coach Anders, he just loves to get the job done. He pushes us to be good, and we push him as well. So it's a good compliment.
So coach gets some pushback too, right?
Oh,
So,
for sure.
but good pushback, right? So, all right. So he's fun, interesting, organized, and tenacious. Okay. All right. So next, stepping up to the microphone is
James Tetley, center.
James Tetley. Okay. Yeah, I know your mom, right, Sandra?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. And James Tetley, what grade are you in?
12th grade.
12th grade. And which community are you in?
Biomed.
Biomed. Okay. And what is your favorite class?
Favorite class is probably biomedical innovations. Taking right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like something way over my head. I was never a science student. I liked math, but I was never a science student. Okay. What is your most challenging class?
Most challenging class is probably BC calculus.
BC calculus. So you have to work really hard, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, on that. So, Coach, what is Mr. Tetley's acknowledgement this week?
Well, he's also a recipient of the Wood Award against Drake.
Okay.
You know, last week Doc was painting the ball, so we kind of had to combine the two. And
Right.
so this week, the last week recipients kept the award, and then they'll change it over guards to the new ones on Friday.
Okay.
So, which is great. Like I said, you know, to be able to honor these kids and, you know, really build the culture of you know, expectations and things of that nature, and give them something that they really got to take pride in. And that's what we're trying to create, a more pride atmosphere in everything we do. I mean, from the smallest to the biggest things.
James, what's one word that describes your coach?
One word to describe Coach Anders is probably caring.
Caring. Okay. And what do you describe as caring?
Coach Anders cares about every single kid on this team, no matter what you do. Like, you can bow mouth to him, you can, you know, be like, screw you, coach, and he'll still be there to help you out. He still wants to coach you. He wants to make every kid a better man instead of, like, he's not worried about football players. He's working on making you a good man.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I would definitely describe it as so fun, interesting, organized, tenacious, and caring. Okay, that's a great. So, do we cycle through everyone?
Yes.
All right. So, so this weekend we'll have our next show next week as we look forward to the start of district play. That's going to be a big game, and feels like we've never had a home game, right? It's been a long time since a home game, right?
And we haven't.
We haven't had one since last year. So I know everyone goes, "Are we ever going to play a home game?" But our first home game that's going to be homecoming, right?
No, actually we have one after.
Oh, it's after that. Okay,
No,
so
I'm sorry, it's before that. It's after the Tech City. We play Manview at home.
okay, and then we play Santa Fe for homecoming on the
October
13th.
October
13th. Okay,
yes.
so that's going to be our first two games will be big because it's our first home game. Then the following week is homecoming. All right, so talk about preparation this week because yeah, I guess like 2 weeks to. Well, now it's less than 2 weeks to prepare for opening a district. So, what's the plan this week during practice and everything?
Well, basically the plan is sit down, and we had the opportunity to watch last week's game and just, you know, improve what we can improve, and that's ourselves. We need to work on all the things that we seen in the process of last week's film study, just the details on whether it's route running, hand placement, hat placement, tackling, all those things, and as coaches, we are vowed to tighten up a little bit more and not allow some of the walking around and some of the things the things we've seen and walking out late to pregame warm-ups and stuff like that. You know, those things that makes a big difference in the game. Just a little thing.
Discipline, right?
Discipline,
being
detail,
focused, right?
Being focused. I mean, those are things. As I preach to them every day, that you know, sometimes mentally it may make a difference. I'm not saying it has everything in the game. But I want to have a team that's well prepared and well organized and ready to play. And whatever happens after that is going to happen. You got to line up and play football. That's one thing about this sport. At the end of the day, you got to play the game. I don't care, you know, you can have the best plan in the world. But, you know, you got to go out there and execute that plan and do the things right.
So I have a behind-the-scenes question for you. I've always been curious. During halftime, when you all exit the field and you're in the locker room for a short time, exactly what goes on?
Oh, we actually, the kids go in for a few minutes, the coaches meet outside, and we talk about, you know, certain things we've seen and adjustments we need to make, and then, you know, I have my talk with the coaches, and then the offense and defense coordinator go in and get the offensive unit, defensive unit, and talk about the directions we can make and what we can do better. and still continue to follow our plan. You know, we just got to make adjustments.
Right.
That's one thing about halftime. With any sport, you need to make those adjustments at halftime, and then you got to finish the fourth quarter, because the game is not played in a half. So you have the opportunity to continue to teach throughout the whole course of the game, and particularly at halftime. That's when you want to come out. You see a lot of games, they make those great halftime adjustments and then get back on track, and that's the biggest thing we focus on, just teaching.
Was the locker room situation much better this week than it was the previous week?
Was,
I see a thumbs up.
That was good. That was good.
Or I'm talking about not
I
sitting
mean,
in the grass and the mosquitoes like the.
We was plus. We had TVs in the
Oh wow! Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a beautiful facility. They have some
full of Gatorade water.
Oh wow!
So
Instead of, I know. I remember you all exiting the field in Lamarck for halftime, and I go, "There's not a locker room for the. There are locker rooms that fill with mosquitoes, right, and waters that hose out back, right. So, well, that's good. It's always nice, that hospitality, and we always try and return that when we have visitors too. Before we wrap up, I want to just, I was on the sidelines for all these games, and this year in particular, there's a lot of different things going on with tour watching stuff. So I have to compliment the atmosphere on the sidelines so far. I've seen it, and I know, Coach, you've implemented a lot of things, since the end of last season and working with coaches. Players are very respectable. I know they need to be focused on the game, but a lot of times when an adult walks by, they acknowledge them and stuff too. So I have to compliment you and your coaching staff and your players, because that goes a long way, the community and that type of thing. Because, believe it or not, guys, when you're playing on the field course, all eyes are on you, but all eyes are on the sidelines too, because people are always, okay, let's see how that, how they're behaving or whatever. So I have to give a big tip that I had for you, because it goes a long way for community pride. It says a lot for you, setting the tone and that type of thing.
And that's the thing we always talk about. Like I tell them, you representing this whole county. You representing Galveston, and whatever happened on the sideline, it's going to be spotlighted, because somebody is always watching you. Somebody's watching the sideline. Like I say, with throwing helmets and fussing back at coaches, and getting upset behind a play. It's part of the game. So we definitely will. Actually, we have a plan in place now where we get our middle school coaches involved, and they will help manage our sideline just to keep kids engaged and involved. And so we have some good things in place that I watched. I went to the state championship game last year, and just watch the etiquettes on the sideline and how they put people in the game, and that's very important, because that's part of winning. That's part of building that culture. That's part of building that consistency and doing things right.
Exactly. All right. Once again, thank you, Coach Enders, for a great show and bringing all these great guys with you. I think they set the tone and provide the leadership for a great season, and so we look forward to great things as we approach the start of district. And we'll meet again next week and talk about the opening game for the district.
Okay,
all right, guys, thank you for joining us this week on the Tornado Football Coaches Show, and we will see everyone again next week.
All right, thanks.
All right. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So he did say we on the regular grade period. So we got this the fourth week.
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to.
Yeah, they didn't change that.
What's today?
Because,
The
they make
19th.
this, how we don't have to make up those
19th,
daily
9,
runs, so
19,
let's just
17?
So we need to get those grading things up. Everybody make sure
Go up there, Roger. This time he was in the same spot.
I don't even remember where I signed.
Probably back in the day when we first started on that wall.
the pass the class or whatever.
Are you signing in here? Maybe I didn't.
You see what I'm signing? I ain't that long to sign with
I'm trying to talk Dimitri into having his own radio show, so
I'll see you sixth period.
We
Yeah.
start.
at least have a weekly one, and you can bring some of the guys in, y'all can play your favorite.
Yeah,
Relax,
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking young award winners.
Yeah, that's what we did. The first year I did with Jerry now. Then they kicked me out. Jerry took over. Jerry got his own show. Who was that got their own show that first year?
I think it was Jerry.
It was Jerry. Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Tristan
the
and I had one last year, right?
Yeah.
Got good right there. It's a
He was getting
On I'll make sure you get an invitation to this on October 13th, which is Homecoming Day. Every Friday, Gina Spagnola, you know Gina Spagnola, she does a live at noon show here, and it's live on Facebook and on the radio. That day, we are dedicating the radio studio, and we're naming it after Anita Martini.
Tell
Remember?
Dimitri I say come here. Yeah.
You know, she was the lady that was first. She broke the barrier, female barrier about females being allowed in the locker room back in 1973.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I'll send you the history. But anyway, she was from Galveston,